For more on the abortion debate in the U.S., we're joined by our abortion rights activist, Jennifer Knight. And Jennifer, what do you make of the vote in Kansas?
Well, I mean, it's obviously very exciting for abortion rights activists throughout the nation, right? Based on a New York Times article today, 4 out of 5 states, 4 out of 5 states would make the same choice that Kansas voters would make if presented with that choice on the ballot.
And so what do you make of the midterms? A lot of people saying this could gin up participation in voters, get more people to the polls. What do you think? We're just a few months away.
Absolutely. I think it's very encouraging. I mean, we still have a very scattered patchwork of laws throughout the states. We have, just as much as there's good news this week, there's bad news. So I think that it's really important. And I think that this issue has gotten the attention of American voters.
I used to live in the state of Kansas, and if you peel back the onion just a little bit, voting patterns emerge. You have places like Johnson County, which is a suburb of Kansas City, Missouri. Large voting block there. There was a huge turnout there. A majority of the voters came out in support of abortion rights. The rural areas voted differently, but they're much smaller populations. So pull at that thread for us. We used to talk about blue states and red states. Now we're seeing blue pockets within red states. These suburbs with large populations. When you look at the midterms and you talk about states like Montana and Kentucky that are going to have vote on this issue, as well as California and Vermont, how do you see that shaking out?
I mean, I really think that, access to abortion and reproductive health care is a bipartisan issue, right? This affects all families. It affects all people who can give birth and all people who want to be parents in the future. And so I think that it's going to be a very interesting race over the next couple of years to see how the states respond and to see how voters respond.
And Jennifer, we're already getting a number of stories that have come out since the overturning of Roe versus Wade. Of course, this young girl who traveled from Ohio to Indiana to get an abortion after being raped. And that's, of course, gotten a lot of coverage. We're also seeing some states just rushing to pass strident anti-abortion laws. I know it's a patchwork. You mentioned that. What's been the fallout for women across this country?
I mean, in states like Kentucky and Florida, right, we're seeing a rollback of rights and we're seeing blocks. It is a patchwork throughout the country. We have 15 states with protections in place, safeguarding the right to abortion. We have 6 states with existing gestational bans, another 5 with abortion bans that have been completely blocked, 10 states with abortion bans either in effect or expected, 9 states, Michigan, which is where I live, included, where courts or lawmakers are expected to legislate on case by case whether they're going to allow it or ban it. And then 10 states with total bans, and 4 of those bans begin at 6 weeks. The state of Oklahoma, the abortion ban begins at fertilization. So it's difficult, right, depending on where an abortion seeker lives, to understand really what they're going to have to contend with.
Okay, so we had the vote on Tuesday, then Wednesday, the president signed his second executive order to help shore up abortion access, this time by supporting women who need to travel across states for the procedure. In the Senate this week, there was a bipartisan bill introduced, it's called the Reproductive Freedom for All Act. Do you see that going anywhere, or is this going to be something that's going to be decided after the midterms, you think?
Unfortunately, I want to have hope for that bill. We've had some pretty notable congresspeople come forward and say that they are not going to vote on it because it's not comprehensive enough. It doesn't do enough. So I think, unfortunately, we will have to watch for the next couple of years and to see where the laws are going.
And what about Biden? Do you think he can do more?
I definitely think Biden can do more. I think that he can continue to exert pressure, and he can, if this bill fails, he can put forth more, right? A more aggressive bill.
Jennifer Knight, thank you so much for your analysis.